Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, May 8th. How is everybody doing today? I hope that you all had a great week. I am here with your weekly assignment. I will try to keep this as quick as possible. This week, we jump back into the DBQ project. I know you are all very, very excited for that. With that said, let's get right into this. This assignment is going to be a two-part assignment. This week, you are only doing the documents. Do not worry about next week. It's not necessarily going to be an essay, so don't start writing your essay on this yet, okay? Just worry about week one for right now. That's the documents, okay? And I'm going to go over that right now. So we go into Google Classroom here. I am on B block, but this is the same for A. So we go into classwork and remote learning week 6. Okay, I have an overview of the assignment. I have your link right here to the DBQ project, which will take you up to the DBQ project website specific to your class, okay? And then when you guys are done, you upload your work to the assignment here on Google Classroom, unless you are answering the questions in the DBQ project. I will go over that in a second. Okay, so your assignment for this week, the Google document that goes with this, which is the overview, should Americans be required to vote? Your mission this week is to read through and complete the documents, okay, for the DBQ, should Americans be required to vote. We've talked at length about how our government works, and we know that its function is to represent the people that we vote into office, our representatives that we vote in. And this is a very good DBQ. It's pertinent to the lives that we're living right now because this November there is a presidential election. Okay, so this is a very timely DBQ, and I think it's important that we take a look at it over the next 2 weeks. So remember, this week you are only doing the documents. I've provided a link right here to the DBQ project, same link that is in the classroom assignment. And your work, which is due on Friday, May 5th, you are going to read each of the documents and answer the questions. I'm going to go over the documents in a second with you guys, and that will be your assignment for the week. Okay, next week, the assignment will be to answer the essential question to this DBQ, which is, should Americans be required to vote? And you're going to need to use evidence from these documents to help you answer that question. Okay, so be prepared, highlight your DBQ, write down notes. You're going to need to back up your answer with evidence. Okay, and like I said, next week is not necessarily just you writing an essay. So I don't want you to jump right into writing an essay on this. Okay, take your time, just do this week's assignment, and then we'll worry about next week when we get there. Okay, sound good? Perfect. Okay, so we jump back over here to the assignment and we click the link to bring us to the DBQ project, which is right here. Should Americans be required to vote? Okay, everyone knows that voting is important in a democracy. However, just because voting is important does not mean everyone does it. In a recent presidential election, barely 60% of registered voters have participated. Why don't more people vote? The purpose of this mini Q is to look at the reasons Americans do not vote, why it matters, and a possible solution for increasing voter turnout. We have 7 documents that go along with this DBQ. And what we're going to do first is we are going to look at the background essay. I want you guys to start with reading the background essay here. When you are done with that, I want you to move over to the background essay questions. Okay, there's 3 questions that go along with the essay. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vocabulary words that I would like you to define. Okay, that is the first part of your assignment, the background essay questions. Okay, now this moves us into document A. Document A is from the International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance. It is from March 2019. And the note on this says, below is information from 13 of the approximately 27 countries that have a form of compulsory voting, meaning you have to vote. About 170 countries do not have compulsory voting. So you're going to look at this chart and you are going to answer the 4 questions that follow. Okay, that is document A. Document B is the United States Elections Project from George Mason University in May of 2010. And it looks at voter turnout by education level over a 12-year period here. Okay, there's a chart as well. And then you have six questions to answer for document B. Document C, our source is John W. Dean. Is it time to consider mandatory voting laws? Worsening voting statistics make a strong case. Okay, and this is written in February of 2003, from quite a while ago. And a note here, John Dean was a legal counsel to President Richard Nixon. Okay, so pretty important guy. Okay, so we want to read through what he has to say in document C and answer the 5 questions that go with it. Moving on, document D is from Philip Palda, and it's called Vote or Else, from the Fraser Forum, February 2001. A note here, Philip Palda was a Canadian economist and university professor. Italy's law required voting from 1945 to 1993. Since then, only informal social sanctions exist in Italy, meaning that they've scaled it back since 1993. The penalty to come along with not voting are basically just social sanctions. Okay, so I want you to read through this document and answer these 6 questions that go along with it. Okay? Document E, we're getting close to the end here, is from Jimmy Carter's Peru trip report from the Carter Center, April 5th, 2001. Note, after US President Jimmy Carter left office in 1981, he began to travel to different countries and monitor elections for fairness. Peru had recently experienced a dishonest election which left its citizens mistrust of their government. Okay? So I want you guys to read through this document here and answer the 5 questions that follow. Document F is a political cartoon at the bottom here. And the first one here is an Australian supporter of compulsory voting. Note that it is from 1924. This is from nearly 100 years ago, an Australian supporter of compulsory voting. Our second source here is a political cartoon from Joe Heller called School Repairs from the Green Bay Gazette 10 years ago in March of 2010. Examine both of these and answer the 6 questions that go along with it, okay? Our final document is from Randy Cohen, and it's called Must You Vote? An article from the New York Times from November 2009, so about 11 years ago, okay? Read through this and answer the 5 questions that go along with it, okay? Now, I gave you a couple options. You guys can answer right in the DBQ here if you would like, or if you want to get creative, you can create a slideshow of your answers. Okay, instead of just typing them into the DBQ, what you can do is you can create a slideshow and write document A at the top and then put your answers in it to really dress it up a little bit. And then you would upload that to your remote learning week 6, okay? And again, you upload it here, and the rubric which we're following again is personal accountability and responsibility, okay? We are familiar at this point with this rubric 1 through 4, okay? And you turn it in here when you are done. Our class meets Tuesday. A block is 9 to 9:45 and B block is 10 to 10:45. If you guys have any questions, okay, stop in from 9 to 9:45. I can go over all of this with you. Plus, it's just great to see you guys, so I hope that you do stop in. And my office hours are Friday from 12 to 1, okay? So that's all I have for you guys this week. You have the DBQ, should Americans be required to vote? There are the background essay and 7 documents that go with it, okay? Only the questions, okay? Do not worry about writing an essay or coming up with something bigger. Your job this week is just to make your way through the documents, maybe do a couple documents each day, and then what I want you to do is be highlighting, be making note. If you think Americans should be required to vote, I want you to be highlighting and circling things that will help provide evidence to your answer, when we share out the following week. Okay, it's not necessarily going to be an essay. Okay, remember. Okay, it could be something a little bit different. Okay, so just start to prepare your answer. That is all I have for you guys. I hope that you are all doing well. I hope you and your families are safe and that you're healthy. And if you have any questions, you can always shoot me an email. Okay, I will see you guys soon. Bye bye.